Hi everyone, Crista Cowan here with another episode of The Barefoot Genealogist. Today we are talking about activating and managing AncestryDNA kits. For those of you who've never activated an AncestryDNA kit before, we'll start by walking through the simple flow of how to activate an AncestryDNA kit. For those of you who might be the family genealogists and who tested yourself and several other family members, we'll walk through some of the new roles for collaborating with other family members who have tested or who you want to get tested. Now, it has been Ancestry's policy that every adult must activate their own AncestryDNA kit. Ancestry's recently made some changes to the activation flow that just make this more apparent. And our goal, of course, is to give every adult the control over their own DNA results and the control over the privacy levels of those results. This will be more apparent as we go on today. And of course, as always, if you have specific questions after you've watched the video, just feel free to leave comments here on YouTube. I will respond to those as I am able to do that. So let's talk about activating an AncestryDNA kit. You can do this in one of several ways. You can go online through any web browser to dna.ancestry.com/activate. Or you can go through your mobile app. We have a free AncestryDNA app that allows you to activate your kit through the app and then track it through lab processing until your results are available. Either way works just fine. We're going to walk through a couple of screenshots that have been taken both out of a web browser and off of our mobile device. Now, the main screen you're going to get here is going to be to activate your DNA kit. If you already have an Ancestry account, you can just log in with your regular username and password to activate that DNA kit. If you're not sure, you might want to double check that. One of the challenges we see some people run into if they haven't used Ancestry a lot is they might have an account out there that has a family tree on it, and then when they come to activate their DNA kit, they create a new account, and then those two things aren't talking to each other. So double check first, make sure if you already have an Ancestry account, log in or sign in to that account. And if you don't, of course, then you can create a new account as part of your activation process. Now, new accounts on Ancestry, specifically for AncestryDNA testing, do not require an Ancestry subscription. They don't require you to give us a credit card number, any of that. All we need is your name, an email address, and then we need you to create a password. So, simple activation screen creates what we call a free registered guest account here at Ancestry. And again, no subscription is required to activate your DNA kit. Once you have either logged in or created that free account, we're going to get you to your Getting Started screen. We're going to ask you if the DNA sample you're providing is for yourself, whether it's for a child under the age of 18 who is your child, or if you're helping activate the DNA kit for another adult. So select, if you're taking the test yourself, select that this test is for you. Make sure that you read the AncestryDNA terms and conditions and our privacy statement, then check that box and click Next. And then plug in the 15-digit activation code from the side of the DNA tube. Of course, doing this before you've actually tested is best. And make sure you get those numbers and letters all entered accurately. If you don't worry about it. It'll just pop up a little error. Clear it out, try again, you should be fine. Go ahead and click Next. Then we're going to need you to just provide a little bit of information about yourself. Some of this is for our tracking purposes. Some of this is for the purposes of quality control. So we need you to provide your birth year and your sex, and then click Next. That will take you into our research participation information. So information about participating, if you so choose, in any of our research projects. You, again, need to read that information. Make sure you read the informed consent. And click that and then select whether you do or do not give consent to have your DNA sample used as part of our research. And then you're going to set your display settings. So the display settings specifically are you determining what you want other users to see. Again, it's really important that through all of these steps that the person who owns the DNA or whose DNA it is that is testing, that person makes these decisions. It's one of the reasons that this flow has been changed a little bit. So display preferences just determine what your DNA matches. So part of your DNA results, you're going to get back your ethnicity and your genetic communities, and you're also going to get back a list of everybody in the AncestryDNA database who shares DNA with you, who you match as a second cousin or a fifth cousin or an aunt and uncle, whatever the case may be. And this screen helps you determine what you want them to be able to see about you. And so you can determine if you want them to see all of your ethnicity and cultural origins, or if you only want them to see what you have in common. Once you've selected that, go ahead and click Next. And then we're going to take you just to a review screen, just make sure all your information is accurate. Right there in the top of that screen, you're going to see a display name option, and you can edit that. The default is going to be your username, but you have, again, control over how you want your name displayed to the matches that you're going to be connected with in our system. Some people choose to display their full real name. Some people choose to display a username that makes them a little bit more anonymous. Some people choose to display just their initials. Again, you have the control over how you want to appear, by what name you want to appear to your matches. Once you have clicked then Activate Kit down there at the bottom of that screen, you get a little activation complete screen that just lets you know that the kit has been activated correctly, and then you can walk through instructions if you so choose about exactly how to provide the DNA saliva sample into that little tube, how to get that cap screwed on to make sure that that preservation solution gets dropped into the tube, and how to get it to us so that we can start processing your DNA kit. So that is the simple process of activating an Ancestry DNA kit. And hopefully you understand a little bit now why it's so important that every adult activates their own kit, because again, we want them to have full control over the privacy settings. We want them to have control over their own results as they participate in AncestryDNA. Now, for just some review about some of the other options here, you do have the option to activate a DNA test for a child. If that child is your child. Now, one of the questions you'll be asked is, are you the parent or legal guardian of this particular child? And that's important. We just want to make sure, again, that people understand that people have control over their DNA results. Children under the age of 18 cannot activate their own test without the permission of a parent or legal guardian. And if the child is your grandchild or your niece or your nephew, again, you need to get the permission, or it needs to be activated by their parent or legal guardian. Now, you also have the option here on this Getting Started screen to help activate a DNA kit for another adult. Now, I don't know what your circumstances are, but I have tested, I've had my grandma tested, both of my parents, aunts and uncles, cousins, and so I'm always encouraging people to DNA test, because as the family genealogist, I know, and they have come to understand, that the more DNA we can collect from family members, the broader picture it gives us of the DNA of our ancestors, the more people it connects us with to help build our family tree, to help break through some of those brick walls, to help validate our paper trail. And so I'm constantly getting other people to test. So we've added this new button that allows you to help activate a DNA kit for another adult. When you click that, it allows you to enter their email address so that we can send them an invitation to activate their DNA kit. And this is, again, it's a new part of the process that allows you, especially if you've purchased the kit. Now, I know, like, I've purchased several kits for several of my family members. Purchasing the kit doesn't mean I own their DNA. It just means that I was willing to pay for that in the hopes that they would provide a sample that would help me with my research. I have other family members who have purchased their own kits, and so it just kind of depends on how you do things in your family and among the people that you're working with for research. But click Help Activate a DNA Kit for Another Adult. We give you this screen here then to enter their email address, and then they'll get an email, and it'll just say, you know, Sean Smith has sent you a request to activate a DNA kit. They can click the link in the email. They'll walk through that exact same activation flow that I just walked you through. And then they'll get an additional step because you sent an invitation. And that additional step is about if they want to assign an account manager or not. So they then have the option to make you the manager of their DNA test results. And let me just run through some of the things that a manager can do. They will still be the owner. It will still be their DNA results. They still own those and have all the control over that. But as the manager, you would then have the rights to do just about anything they can do. As a matter of fact, you can do everything they can do with one exception, and that is that managers cannot remove the owner's access to their own DNA results. So if you are looking to manage someone else's results, they'll get an email. As part of their activation flow, they'll be asked if they want to make you the manager. For those of you who might be on the receiving end of this, again, you want to just make sure that you understand that if you give managerial rights to someone, they can do anything you can do with your DNA results, which means they can delete your data, they can download it and upload it to other places, they can change how other people access your test results. The only thing they can't do is remove your access to those DNA results. So make sure that it's a family member, trusted family member, or a trusted friend if you're sharing those DNA results with them. Now, as the manager, there is benefits to me if I'm managing someone else's test results. What that means is that any messages that are received for that particular test will come to me, and I will be able to communicate with matches, which I do a ton to work with my DNA results as I'm trying to connect with other people who showed up as DNA matches, figure out where in the family tree we connect, figure out if we have more information to share with each other to continue to build our family tree. Making some of those new discoveries. Some of my best DNA discoveries have come through messaging other users. And so it allows me then as the manager to have those test results in my account. I don't have to log into their account. They're all going to be in my account. I can attach it to my tree in my DNA account. I can message back and forth to DNA matches. So essentially, again, management is just kind of you're going to manage, you're going to administer is the word we used to use, but now we use the word manage. You're going to be able to manage that owner's DNA results completely. So make sure, again, that you understand what you're getting yourself into as a manager, and that as a DNA owner, that you're understanding what you're allowing someone access to do. This is, again, part of the simple activation flow for those who are activating their kits with an invitation from someone to do so. Now, if you've taken a DNA test, at any time, you can go into your settings on your DNA homepage, and you can invite other people to have access to those DNA results. And we've added some roles and kind of, we have defined them a little bit better. We've added a role so that we've got a little bit more breadth of opportunity for people to collaborate with each other. That's really important. We understand that collaboration is a huge part of family history research, and so we want to be able to give people the access to do that. So in your DNA settings, you can go down and you can give people DNA result access, and you just enter their email address, and then there you select the role that you want to give them. Now we have this chart actually back here. If you click on role details here, you're going to get this chart. I know it's tiny on your screen right now, but I would encourage you to go into your DNA settings, click on that and read it. Or you can go to the Ancestry blog. It's blogs, plural, blogs.ancestry.com. and do a search there for activation. You'll find our blog post about this with all the details and this particular chart. But I do want to just review a few things. Like I said, we now have some added roles, and we've clarified what each of the roles can do. The DNA owner, of course, is the spitter, or the person who provided the DNA sample. They're the ones who have full control over everything that happens with their DNA results. The manager has all access that the owner has except that bottom one, which is that they cannot remove the owner's access to their own DNA results. We also have a collaborator role. So collaborators have a lot of access. So this is for people like, I work with adoptees who are trying to find biological parents. I work with family members and friends who want my help with their research or understanding their DNA results. I would rather be invited as a collaborator than a manager in those instances, because I want to be able to view their results. I want to be able to make any notes on the matches so that I can keep track of what's what and what I'm doing. I want to be able to sometimes link those results to a tree that I've created just to see if I'm on the right track or if I've got the right people in the family tree. So lots of different things I can do as a collaborator, and that's enough access for me. It means I don't have access as a collaborator to delete other people's test results. I don't have access to download their raw DNA data and put it out wherever. I don't have access to see messages that might contain private and personal information that really is none of my business. So as a collaborator, most frequently that's sufficient, more than sufficient access for me to be able to help other people with their DNA results. The manager role is more for people who don't want to have anything to do with their DNA results, like they took the DNA test because they were interested in maybe the ethnicity, but they want another family member to manage those results and to work with them and maybe let them know what's going on once in a while. But the collaborator is kind of a different step that's a little more about helping people. Then the other new role we've added here is the viewer. So the viewer is able to see the ethnicity estimates. They're able to see the DNA matches. They just don't have any edit rights. They can't attach it to their tree, which is good because if I've got it attached to my own tree, DNA results can only be attached to one tree at a time. So if I've got my DNA results in my account attached to my tree, but I want somebody's help or I want somebody to be able to see my match list so we can work together to gather evidence for certain genealogical conclusions, I don't want them to have access to disassociate my results with my tree and attach it to something else. But I may want them to have that viewer access or kind of a guest level access to my results. So way more increased control and more clarified options here that just allow us to work together and to collaborate together much more, and again, still allow the person who owns the DNA results to have ultimate control over what happens to their results and who has access to those results. Okay, let me just reiterate a few things and answer or preemptively answer a few questions if I haven't already. If you're the family genealogist, and I am, so I totally get that, you can still manage multiple DNA results on your account. The keyword there is manage, which means the spitter activates. If they give you managerial rights, you can then have as many DNA kits results on your account as you want. You don't have to log into multiple accounts. You don't have to have multiple subscriptions. None of that is an issue. So your account, your subscription, multiple DNA tests. You can also attach as many, and this hasn't changed, as many DNA results to your online family tree as you wish. I've seen some questions come up online this week about that. This has always been the case. This has not changed. So if you have your main family tree, which I do, so I have our family tree on my account. My dad has his own Ancestry account. I've shared my tree with him, but all of the DNA results have been shared with my account and are all attached to this main family tree. And then these people have access, some of them to their tree, to the DNA results, whatever they want at whatever level they want to be involved in that. The final thing is that if family members do not wish to work with their own DNA results, that's fine. The key to this is that they do not need to have an Ancestry subscription. Again, I've seen some stuff online this week about some confusion about that. I just want to make that really clear. All they have to do is activate their own test, and then if they do not wish to work with their results, they can invite you or whoever in the family to be the manager. They can invite as many collaborators or viewers as they want to invite. So one owner, one manager, many collaborators and viewers. If people are comfortable sharing their DNA results that broad and wide with whoever in the family that they feel like can help them. But the account where the DNA kit resides or is owned doesn't have to have a subscription if that person has no intention of actually building a tree or working with their results. If they've shared it with somebody who has a subscription, that person then has full access, again, to attach it to a tree, to see the trees of the matches, to work with all of those DNA results as they see fit. Hopefully that makes sense for those of you who are just joining the world of Ancestry DNA and activating your test for the first time. I hope you're really excited about the results that are coming. I've had my DNA results for several years now. My dad and I spend a couple hours every Sunday night working on looking through our new matches and trying to figure out who they are and reaching out to people and making new discoveries. It's just been a really great experience for he and I, a little bit of a bonding experience, but it's also been really great for our family history research and helped us make new discoveries about ourselves and where we fit in the world and how we connect with each other. Well, that's all I have prepared for you today. Again, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comments section here on YouTube, and I will get to those as I can to respond as necessary. Also, if you have suggestions for topics you would like discussed in future episodes of The Barefoot Genealogist, please send an email to ask@ancestry.com. I do review all of those and use them to put together the calendar for future videos. Until next time, this is Crista Cowan. Have fun climbing your family tree.